Greetings, all! Today, we'll be examining the mythical Pokemon Hoopa, the psychic ghost-type Mischief Pokemon in its Confined form, and the psychic dark-type Djinn Pokémon in its Unbound form. Mischievous at their best and downright nightmarish at their worst, Hoopa are fascinating creatures whose mythical status has made them the subject of both great intrigue and fear throughout all of time.
In their confined state, Hoopa have small bodies with greyish skin in the ovoid torso, football-shaped head and arms, which levitate separately from the bodies, their shoulder joints being replaced by a pair of golden barbs, while their frame is decorated with maroon bands of material as well as a maroon topknot of sorts on their head. They have a large gilded ring that encircles the lower torso, as well as a ring on each of their two horns, with pink cheek markings on their face, a large toothy mouth, a yellow ring-shaped marking on their forehead, and green eyes with yellow sclera. In their unbound state, these creatures are much larger in size and stand on two legs with a gilded shoe-like claw on each foot, as well as 6 arms that float separately from the body, with 2 gilded rings and 3 fingers with black nails on each, as well as a long tail with a purple spine along its top. Their torso has a large black hole in its center with a gilded ring around it, as well as maroon hair that covers the 6 armholes, and a large bush of hair on the back of their head, additional rings in the horns and a beard of hair that helps to frame the large jagged teeth and the lower fangs in their mouth. To say the least, Hoopa are mysterious creatures whose true physical makeup is still the subject of much debate, as they do not appear to even exist physically. X-ray analyses of these creatures has revealed literally absolutely nothing. When an image is taken, not even an outline shows up, as if the creature never even existed to begin with. From what can be told, this would mean the creature is in a constant state of existence and non-existence, or perhaps even another state of being unlike anything that we are currently capable of understanding or studying. Without further data, it is impossible to say for certain. It is hypothesized, however, that Hoopa are in fact a special sentient form of psychic energy that has a true mind and consciousness, but no biological connection to the world, granting it the unique type properties of the psychic type. Their secondary ghost type assignment comes from the fact that they not only display the characteristics of the type, but, as Hoopa Confined, seem to be partially tied to the ethereal plane.
This is not the only surprise, however, as it seems that the unique state of being allows Hoopa to do something that few other Pokemon can actually do: generate wormholes.
They can do this by focusing large amounts of psychic energy in the rings that adorn their body, and once they create a wormhole, they merely have to push an object through the ring to teleport it to a location of their choosing. It has even been observed that these rings can be made to grow in size to the point of being able to encapsulate entire islands, absorbing and teleporting them in an instant when at full power. This incredible ability seemingly defies the laws of physics, and it is unknown how Hoopa are actually able to achieve this without destroying the objects, as wormholes are generally quite unstable. All that can be said is that these beasts have mastered this ability so well that they can even teleport themselves, which they can use to their advantage in their confined state to attack opponents directly from behind without them knowing about it. This signature attack, the Hyperspace Hole Attack, is not quite as powerful as moves like Psychic, but has the added benefit of being able to break through barriers like Protect and Detect quite easily. The only real limitation that these creatures have to their power is that they can only teleport one item at a time through a portal as long as they are in their confined form.
This unique power, unfortunately, is generally not used for good, but for the sheer sake of mischief, as Hoopa by nature love to steal things and play pranks on others.
It is said that Hoopa are attracted to valuable objects and will steal priceless items, no matter what they may be, and teleport them back to their lair, which is located somewhere in the middle of the desert in Eurasia, though this is only what legend tells. In truth, no one is able to actually locate the lair of a Hoopa. Nonetheless, it can be speculated that these lairs are likely filled to the brim with treasure taken from people of all social classes from across the world, being hoarded as if it would play a vital role of importance in the near future. It is even said that this ability has been used to scare some criminal organizations into disbanding by slowly taking all of their supplies, but this only seems to be the case when Hoopa feel that they or their treasure is in danger of being attacked or taken away. In addition, it is said that Hoopa are extremely good at pulling pranks and will do just about anything to get a laugh, even if it means dropping things on people or simply appearing out of nowhere and scaring the heck out of them. Despite this mischievous side, however, it can at least be said that Hoopa are not violent creatures. In truth, while they might enjoy taking things and pulling pranks, they will never intentionally try to hurt someone unless they feel that their life is actually being threatened.
As such, Hoopa can be difficult to control most of the time, but it is possible to befriend them, though their extreme rarity might otherwise make such a partnership very difficult to create.
Not surprisingly, these creatures in turn are noted for their access to the Magician ability as their only ability as a result of their special powers, and even in their confined state, they are fairly powerful creatures as a whole, as their stats reflect this, and their base HP stat being above average for a fully evolved Ghost-type Pokemon, and the base attack, special attack, and special defense stats are being above average for a fully evolved Psychic and Ghost-type Pokemon, possessing the highest base special attack stat out of all Ghost-type Pokemon in this state, and thus rendering them a fearsome force to contend with.
However, all the limitations that have been stated so far do not seem to apply whatsoever in cases where Hoopa are allowed to access their true full power.
From what can be observed, it seems that the small, cute form the Hoopa are traditionally seen taking is actually a confined form, meaning that much of their true power has been bound out of their reach. This is further confirmed by their ties to the ethereal plane, as it is not a plane that Psychic types are traditionally attached to. According to legend, the true form of Hoopa is so powerful that they were considered too strong to exist in the world, so they were tied to the ethereal plane using a device known as the prison bottle, which were then hidden from the view of the associated Hoopa. These bottles are considered priceless today as ancient pieces of pottery, but few people realize that inside each bottle is the full power of a confined Hoopa. When a Hoopa is exposed to the content of the bottle, the spell that has been placed upon them will weaken enough for the creatures to regain their full power and transform into Hoopa Unbound for 3 days at a time. In their true Unbound form, Hoopa grow cataclysmically in size and possess 6 arms that can be detached from their body freely to attack multiple targets from multiple angles. Moreover, their once cute face is now adorned with a mouth guard against sand, and their mouth grows to reveal a cruel smile filled with razor-sharp teeth. They further change from Psychic Ghost types into Psychic Dark types to reflect their freedom from the imprisonment of the ethereal plane. In turn, their stats increase to a large degree in reflection of their true power, with their base speed stat slightly increasing, their base special attack moderately increasing, and the base attack stat astronomically increasing, acquiring the highest base attack, special attack, and special defense stats, the latter most tied with Umbreon and Mega Gyarados, and base stat total tied with Yveltal out of all Dark-type Pokemon, as well as the highest base stat total out of all Psychic-type Pokemon, tied with Mewtwo, Lugia, Solgaleo, and Lunala. In addition, they gain access to the Knockoff and Dark Pulse attacks in place of the Phantom Force and Shadow Ball attacks, respectively, though they are also denied access to the Zen Headbutt and Nasty Plot moves, and the cute, but otherwise lackluster Hyperspace Hole attack utilized in the confined state is converted into the devastating Hyperspace Fury attack, a monstrously powerful attack that can break through defensive barriers like Detect and Protect while dealing huge Dark-type damage in the process, though the move also forces Hoopa to lower their defense in the process to properly surprise the opposition, and is completely impossible for them to use outside the Unbound state. As far as the ability to transport objects goes, it has been observed that Unbound Hoopa have little to no limitations on their wormhole generating powers, and can thus transport large buildings and other large structures, and even teleport multiple objects at once using the 6 rings on their arms. Moreover, they seem to get pleasure in doing so, and will often use their powers to plot sinister pranks and attacks on others that otherwise go beyond the normal moral boundaries seen in their confined form, even going so far as to seriously hurt or potentially kill anything that gets in their path. There are even tales of one particular specimen carrying off an entire castle just to get all of the treasures contained within it, though why it would go to such an act of avarice is still uncertain. It is thus a thankful thing that these creatures are generally restricted to their confined state most of the time, as the sheer power they possess in the Unbound form is almost too much to comprehend and approaches, if not matches, some of the powers possessed by deity-class legendaries.
While Hoopa are incredibly rare creatures to see and are usually good at hiding themselves from direct observation, one particular specimen is well known due to its association with the recent Dahara Incident.
Over a century ago, a Hoopa in its Unbound form appeared in Dahara City, then only a small village, and proceeded to eat all of the food of the locals. In return, however, it showered them with gold that allowed them to develop the small village into a thriving city, and a fast friendship formed between the towering monster and the occupants of the land. As a sign of their gratefulness, the humans built Hoopa a home, and Hoopa returned the favor by granting any wishes that the humans desired. Eventually, however, the humans asked Hoopa if it would fight other Pokemon. Spurred on by this, Hoopa began summoning and battling against powerful Pokemon using its wormhole-generating abilities for the entertainment of itself and the humans. However, when Hoopa began to summon dangerous legendary Pokemon, it lost control of itself and let its and their own power wreak havoc, completely destroying the city. In desperation, a man known as Gris used a prison bottle, created with the power of Arceus' Splash, Flame, and Earth Plates, to trap the majority of the monster's power, as well as somehow taking away its ability to move through its own rings in case it wanted to escape, reverting it to its confined form. From there, the Hoopa was forced to live alongside Gris and his descendants until it learned how to control the mannerisms and emotions that led to the city's destructive finale. In time, this same Hoopa became the childhood friend of Gris's great-grandchildren, Mireille and Baraz, and it learned how to responsibly use what power it had left. However, shortly after the recent arrival of a group of trainers into the area, Baraz discovered the location of the prison bottle that Gris had hid before his death. They made the mistake of physically touching the object, at which point the evil power contained inside possessed his body and forced him to release the power inside, briefly granting Hoopa its full unbound powers again and causing it to go on a minor rampage before Mireille was able to confine the power once again. The power was released a second time due to the intervention of a trio of rogue Team Rocket members, but after attempting to contain Hoopa's power for a second time, the power combined with the creature's repressed emotions of anger for being denied its power to form a dark unbound shadow that proceeded to sow mass chaos by summoning a Lugia, and then Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, Kyurem, and Primal Groudon and Kyogre, the original prison bottle shattering in the process. While the team of trainers were able to form a new prison bottle using the power of a Frogadier, Braixen, and Wild Hippopotas, another trainer was able to team up with the summoned Lugia and the real Hoopa who summoned help of their side in the form of Latias, Latios, and Rayquaza, all of which Mega Evolved to take on the opposition. After a hard battle, the shadow of Hoopa was sealed within the new prison bottle, and while the young trainer that had defeated the shadow was possessed for a short time to release it again, the real Hoopa defeated it once more and regained control over its full power. Though it had conquered its evil side, the presence of Palkia and Dialga generated a spatial disturbance that threatened to destroy Dahara City. Hoopa was able to help get the citizens of the city and the summoned Pokemon back to where they belonged before the space-time disturbance destroyed the city, saving everyone in the process. In the aftermath of this incident, reconstruction of the city has begun, and while it may take some time for the city to be fully repaired, it is likely that the operation will go smoothly as long as the Hoopa that lives there is able to use its power for the good of the people once more.
Hoopa are many things to be certain, but well-behaved and well-mannered? Well, not often, sadly. In the confined form, they are at least rather cute and can be fun to play with since the power is mostly restrained and they can only teleport objects of a similar size here and there. They might be a tad mischievous, but so are a lot of kids, and Hoopa Confined very much act like kids, pulling pranks just to have a bit of fun with others. In this state, these little troublemakers are still powerful, but that power is something they only use if they absolutely have to, and thus tend to be easy to get along with if you can get past the more negative personality traits. However, when the power is fully unbound, you had best get out of the area as soon as possible, as there is no telling what sort of horror may lie in wait. With all of their power accessible, these creatures are cruel, mean, terrifying to the extreme, not just in their personality, but especially in their massive size compared to them in the confined form. And the Hyperspace Fury attack is one of the strongest Dark-type attacks known, able to readily batter and devastate others with the immense boost in physical strength that comes with entering this form. There is little that can be done to keep this power in check once they've managed to really get it going, and unless one has a prison bottle on hand, the results of the activity can leave entire communities and even cities demolished in their wake. As such, while they might usually look too cute to be a real threat, always keep in mind what their true power is capable of, and make sure to strike them hard with physical attacks if you have to defend yourself, as that's the only aspect of their forms that is genuinely lacking in strength.
Pranksters one day and a bringer of doom the next, Hoopa are powerful Djinn that can make good use of their teleportation skills in either of their forms to strike and break through the most imposing of barriers with little to no trouble. The chances of coming across one of these beasts might be extremely low, but any confrontation is sure to be a terrifying one regardless if they can't be countered swiftly and directly.
As such, do yourself a favor and bring plenty of Ghost, Dark, and Bug-type Pokemon with you if you wish to challenge one of these beasts. They might have some serious weaknesses that can be taken advantage of, but that doesn't mean taking them on will be any easier when they can literally teleport you and any object they wish to with little effort, even if that means teleporting an entire building over you just to let it fall onto you for a hell of a magical and crushing defeat.
Thank you for watching this video. It brings me great joy to be able to speak to you all in the world each and every time we meet like this, to explore the many different facets of both the world of Pokemon as we know it, and the world as we live it, through every adventure we have with Pokemon by our side. If you'd like to, please subscribe, ring the bell and all that jazz, to keep yourself updated on content uploads and other materials of the like. You can also follow me on Twitter if you'd like to know right away when something new is uploaded, and my written works, from which most of this is based on, can be found on DeviantArt. Links to both can be found in the description down below. Remember that the world of Pokemon is a place full of wonder and mystery, and you never know what to expect. So, stay vigilant, keep watch, and always be prepared for the unexpected. Until next time, trainers and friends of all sorts, have a wonderful time.